Chelsea. This is my channel, The Fancy Hat Lady Reads. I am wearing one of my fancy booktube hats, and this is my TBR for ARC August, or for the rest of August after the booktube-a-thon. ARC August specifically is a reading challenge that I've decided to participate in. It's a month-long reading challenge for the month of August, hosted by the blog Read, Sleep, Repeat. I'll link the announcement post down below. It is, as far as I can tell, more of a big thing in book blog world than in booktube world. I remembered seeing it somewhere last year, and because I do want to read a lot of ARCs this month, I went looking for it because I wanted to participate if it was happening again this year, and it is. So basically the challenge is to just read as many advanced reader copies of books during the month of August as you can. Obviously, this is a challenge that's mostly aimed at people with book blogs or booktube channels or other sorts of reviewers who have a lot of review copies. And sometimes those can pile up on you and you can fall behind, and that's where I am right now. I have spent the past 2 months focusing on Hugo reading, and so I have not been reading review copies. In the meantime, I've had lots of things on NetGalley that are backing up and causing my review percentage on NetGalley to suffer terribly. I also went to Book Expo this year, which added to the number of physical ARCs that I have, in addition to a few others that I had on hand from the bookstore where I volunteer and from Goodreads giveaways. So my ultimate goal for the month of August, my ultimate reading goal, is to catch up through everything that I have that has a release date up until and through the month of August. I'm probably not going to get there. It is theoretically doable, but it would be sort of a miracle. That said, I want to get as close to that as I can. I am going to be traveling for like a week and a half in August. I'm first going to Seattle, and then I'll be going on to San Jose for Worldcon. While I'm traveling, I'm probably mostly going to be reading from my Kindle, which means it's good that a bunch of these are digital ARCs. But then I also have a stack of 5 physical ARCs as well, so I'm going to start with those, and then I'm going to tell you what I have from NetGalley. And I'm going to go here in the order of release date. So I have 2 print ARCs that were back from May. These were May releases. The first is the one that I'm planning on starting on right away, and that is The Queen of Sorrow by Beth Durst. This is the 3rd book in the Queens of Renthia. I mentioned this series, I think, like last month in a video on summer reads. I think this is a great series to dive into in the summer because it is epic fantasy that is lighter, faster reading, and they're not super long books. And I tend to be in the mood for like lighter, funner things in the summer sometimes, even though I'm not a really seasonal reader. I thought that this would be a good fit, and so I also mentioned in that video that I would obviously like to read this one this summer. So this is a high priority one for me. And then the second May release I have is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, which is getting a lot of hype, a lot of very positive reviews right now. I expect this to be a much darker read, so I'm not sure it's really what I'm in the mood for right now, but if the mood strikes, I will pick it up. Next, I have one July release, and that is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I loved the short story that this is an expansion of, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that story turns into a full-length novel. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and it is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. And then I have 2 books here that are August releases, which I would really like to get to because they are a kind of book that I really like to read in the summer, which is like fun, fast-paced YA fantasy, which also means that I should be able to get through them pretty quickly and easily, which would be a plus since this is going to be a kind of hectic month. The first is Seafire by Natalie C. Parker, which is about an all-female pirate crew. And then the next is Mirage by Somaiya Daud, which I think is like sci-fi space fantasy based on Moroccan culture. So that's what I have on my physical shelf. On my Kindle, I still have one April release that I haven't gotten to yet, even though I've mentioned it in several TBRs, and that is From Unseen Fire by Cass Morris, which is a Roman-inspired fantasy novel that I think centers around female characters wielding both magical and political power. And then I have one May release, which is The Oddling Prince by Nancy Springer, which is, I think, a Celtic-inspired fantasy. From June, I've got Witchmark by C.L. Polk, which is a Tor.com publication release. I believe this has a fantasy setting that is inspired by the Edwardian period, and I think it also has some LGBTQ representation of some sort. And then I have one August release on NetGalley that I'm super hyped for, and that is Toil and Trouble, 15 Tales of Women and Witchcraft, which is a young adult anthology that is centered around the idea of witchcraft. There are a few authors in here that I know about, but mostly it's authors who are unfamiliar to me, and I definitely want to become familiar with whatever YA authors are contributing to a feminist witchcraft anthology. So there you have it. Those are all my backed up arcs up until August. We'll see how many of them I get to. Wish me luck. Anyhow, let me know if you have any exciting reading plans for the rest of August. Let me know if there are any of these that you are super excited to see me review. I plan on doing full reviews for as many of these as possible. Anyhow, I hope you're having a nice day. That is all. Bye for now.